Today is a big day. I've been talking about it all week. I am super excited to be here with you guys. We will talk about so many things. So many things that are super important to me as an artist, things that marked my career. But before I go further, please let me know if you see me well, hear me well in the chat. You know the drill. I'm seeing a few of you that are already there. I want to say hi to Bree, Ciara. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know also where you are in the world. We should be a lot more today, so maybe we'll cover a few continents, and that would be really, really awesome. So yeah, I'm seeing a few people already in the chat. Hi guys. So today I have an amazing presentation. It's something that I do only once a year. I basically going to teach you guys how I got my first big commission as a digital artist, how I get there, so you can replicate the same formula for yourself as well. So I'm seeing people in the chat. Hi guys. I'm seeing people from Australia, Netherlands, Malaysia, Finland. That's amazing. Canada. Awesome. It's always fun to see like everybody like from different places in the world. This is great. And for the people that are like, you know, in Asia and Australia, thank you so much for being here. I know it's very late for you guys. I know usually I'm in Thailand when I do this workshop and it's like 11 at night. It's even later for some of you guys. So thank you so much for joining in, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to start because we have quite a bit of material, guys. So I'm going to show you the presentation and then we are going to have a Q&A. I'm also going to open for the people live and interested the doors of illustration for imagination. That happens only once a year, guys, and it starts today. So I'm super, super excited about this. If you have any questions, we have a few amazing team members of Paintable in the chat. Emily, Chenge, and Mariana. If you have any question, put a capital Q in front of your questions. I will definitely have a Q&A with you all later, but if you have a question that you want to ask, they will be there in the chat to answer them as well. So that's all there is to say. I'm going to start sharing my screen, guys, and I'll show you the presentation right away. And boom. So today we are going to talk about how to get your first big digital painting commission in under 30 days, even if you are a complete beginner. All right. So I'm going to move the chat box. Actually, I'm going to close it for now. If you have, this workshop is for those who have beautiful visions of painting in their head, but struggle getting things down on canvas, have a busy schedule and find it difficult to make time to practice, starts lots of painting but find it really hard to finish any, want to earn an income from their digital painting but are not quite sure how to get there. If any of these sound familiar, I created this workshop for you guys and I'm super, super excited about it. And I promise you this is by the end of this workshop, you'll have a clear path on how to become a professional artist and paint anything from imagination. Really, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that I've been using myself. And that's regardless of what you want to be as an artist. Maybe you want to be a freelance illustrator, concept artist, character designer, graphic novelist, or cartoonist, or anything else that resolves into a digital painting. I'll have something for you guys. And I also want to reward everyone that shows up today. I have two amazing workbooks that really help me and a lot of my students to just kind of kickstart the career. It's going to be the Building Your Client Magnet workbook and Career Starter. Plus, I'll give you the PDF of this presentation so you can have all of it. You just have to stay with me until the end. I'll give a link to everybody that is with me live. Also, if you are on Facebook right now, this is the perfect moment to share this workshop. I know a lot of people every year are missing the workshop, even though they were on the mailing list or, you know, on Facebook, and for some reason they miss it. So if you're there, please give some love to the community. Click on the share button. This is going to help. All right. And while you do this, I want you to remind you that this is going to be a workshop of really where you can take notes and just kind of pay attention. So turning your phone, except if you're not on your, if you're not watching obviously this presentation on your phone, turning your phone will help. Close the tabs on your computer and grab a notepad and pen. I'm going to give you some tips here, and you will want to take some notes. If you have any question, like I was saying, we are going to have a Q&A at the end, but don't be shy to put your question at any time. We have a few of the great Paintable team that are in the chat. You can put a capital Q in front of it to help us see the questions. Now, with all that being said, I would like to get to know you a little bit better before we start. So if you could let me know which of the following best describes you. I'm super passionate about art, and A, I'd love to make a little side income from it, then put A in the chat. B, I dream of doing it professionally as a full-time job, put B in the chat. C, I'm already doing it professionally and want to level up. And D, I hate getting paid and I want to be a starving artist. If you could please let me know which one are you in the chat. I'm actually curious to know. Matter of fact, I'm just going to bring back the chat in front of me by clicking on this. Just want to make sure that I see this. So I'm seeing a few A's, a few B's, A, B. All right, that sounds good. I'm not seeing any D, so that's already good, I guess. So that's good. All right. If you answer A, B, or C, why do you want to be like a full-time artist? Why do you want to make an income with your art? What is your passion beyond all of this? All right, you can let us know. You don't have to put a giant paragraph, but let us know if it's because you want to be more creative. You want to add a little income to your revenues. What would it mean to you? Is it to, change your life and being your own boss? Whatever it is, put it in there. And I'm sure everybody's going to put it in there and be inspired by everybody. I'm very curious also to read some answers. So as you do this, I'm looking at the chat. Also, I see a lot of B's, C1 C's, and that's good. That's also. Layla says, help my parents. That's a very good one. Inspire others, absolutely. Quality of life, I can definitely say that I'm on that board for that, for sure. Some people say it's their true passion. All right, this is great. Thanks for sharing, guys. And if you mark D, I didn't see a lot of D's, but we'll talk about this. If you mark D, is the starving artist myth, right? Let's talk about it for a second. The myth of the starving artist means many artists have false belief about money, like real artists do it for the love, not the money. I don't want to be a sellout. Or I'm doing something I love doing. It doesn't really feel like work, so I don't deserve to get paid as much, right? I think it's a myth that unfortunately is really common for a lot of people. And because of these false ideas, we feel like sleazy call salesmen as soon as we talk about charging money for art. Maybe you feel this way. Maybe you have felt this way at some point. And unfortunately, it's something that just is in the community, really. I want you to remember, by creating art, you're creating something of value for other people. You're putting in the time and energy to dedicate, your work and your skills to something good, just like a lawyer or a doctor, and you deserve to get paid, guys. All right, so we're here to rewire our brain and actually become professional artists. My pro tip to this is you just need to attract the right clients, the ones willing to pay you for your skills, and then prove to them that you're worth hiring. And the cool thing is, in this workshop, it is exactly what I want to teach you today. So I hope you're excited about this. I'm going to give you my best tip to basically try to build a portfolio that attract clients, the right kind of clients. And I'm sure that a lot of people here already know me, but just in case, I'm going to present myself real quick. My name is David Béliveau. I started my career as a graphic designer years ago. I fell in love with digital painting in 2011, became a professional illustrator in my 30s, and have been teaching digital painting since 2015. And I absolutely love digital painting. It's my passion. It's been my passion for years. You might have seen a few of my pieces. I would consider myself almost a portrait artist, but I don't do only portraiture, but I love to do it. You might have seen a few of these portraits during the 1 week portrait challenge, or the different challenge that we have in the community, on the tribe. Maybe some of those that we did actually in a few challenges on the tribe as well. Or maybe you participated to the Halloween challenge that we have every year, the pumpkin carving challenge, which those are from. I absolutely love digital painting and creation and art. And here's a little snapshot of my progress when I started versus kind of today. Actually, the portrait on the right was last year. The portrait on the left was my very first portrait that I did for me. Maybe you don't recognize me. I had more hair at the time, and also my skills were not quite there. And I want to talk about this first period of my life because it was hard. When I started to learn digital painting years ago, I would go on YouTube, Pinterest, whatever resources I could find online, and it was really painful to piece it out all together. And believe me, I had my fair share of being overwhelmed and frustrated. Here's how it feels when you start learning on YouTube. And you let me know in the chat if you think it's the same, okay? So it's like someone that gives you a million pieces puzzle with no reference picture on the box. And then you got a teacher somewhere that's like, good luck. That's how it feels to me. It's like having a giant puzzle and not really knowing how to put it all together and which piece goes where. You have all that knowledge, but it's like you kind of you kind of fall behind because you don't see the big picture, basically. And this is why, the second I could paint at a pro level, knowing the frustration that I had, I made it my mission to teach others with clear step-by-step process. If you participated to the 1 week portrait challenge, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And I wanted to show this picture because it's kind of a bit a sentimental picture. That was in 2015. It was my first workshop, so I've been teaching for quite a while, but when I started, it was not even online. I was in Berlin. This was a live workshop. And since then, I just love teaching and I never looked back. I've been a teacher since then. And I can honestly say that illustration changed my life. I'm working in a job that I love, that gives me creative fulfillment. I have complete freedom over my schedule and life. No more 9 to 5. I don't have an office. I work from literally everywhere, which is usually home, but sometimes from cafes. For the last few years, I've been traveling the world, living in Germany, Budapest, Bali, Colombia. Here's a few pictures as a testimonial of those places with amazing memories. And I've been doing basically what I love since then, just spending my time painting, teaching you guys from all sorts of places. And I'm not saying this to brag. It's not my intention at all. I just want you to understand and know that if you really want this, it's possible for you too. If I was able to do it, you're able to do it. I wasn't naturally gifted or talented. I couldn't draw very well. I didn't do art school. I didn't even start until I was 30. So I know that if I can do this, you can too, and I'm here to help. I want to talk about my beginner journey before we go into the deep of the subject of what I want to teach you today. When I started, I was like many. I thought that the starving artist myth was actually a reality, that people couldn't make a living from their art and their passion. And yet, I was a graphic designer at the time. I would go back at home at night and get kind of amazed by the amazing creative work on Behance and ArtStation from people that seemed to do exactly the kind of job I wanted to do. And I was wondering, well, if they're doing it, probably I'm able to do it too, I was imagining myself the scenario that I could get up in the morning, start painting or or sketching with my coffee and basically live out of my art. It was really just a big dream of mine, to a point at some point I had to just kind of take the bull by the horn and buy myself my first tablet and teach myself how to do digital painting. And the journey was not easy at first. I bought my first tablet. It was love at first sight, but I was finishing work and I was basically doing after work studies. So from whatever 5, 6 until sometimes 12 and pass in the night, to just kind of trying to sponge out and learn everything that I could online. And I would spend a ton of time online. I would do dozens of studies and paintings and upload them on my social medias in the hope that I would get my first paid job. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. We're working hard, we're putting our stuff online, and then we're hoping to get, someone knocking on our door saying we want to work with you. But most of the time we get crickets. Sometimes I was lucky if I get a like from my mom. It was just that my work was just not present, had no presence online. It's really hard to get likes when you have, less than a few hundred people following you. And so often I felt like this was an impossible dream, and maybe you feel this way right now from time to time, right? Doubting yourself. Am I talented enough? Am I too old for this? Can I really pay the bills with this? Do I really have what it takes? What will people think if I fail at this? I think that's a big one. It was a big one for me. I was already a professional. I was wondering, is that even possible? Should I do that? Is it not ridiculous for me to want to change my job? Maybe I should be realistic and keep my real job, quote unquote. And at that time, my insecurities were going through the roof, and I felt like the whole world was ready to tell me, I told you so. I was a fool to think that I could have a creative career and be an artist and make an income that is worth talking about. I had to fight hard to pass this stage and decided one day that if nobody wants to hire me, why don't I just hire myself? This way I have some experience doing it. And you have to know that at that point, I am a graphic designer. I know how to hire other people. We've been hiring people in the agencies that I'm working at. So I know exactly how to be the boss and how to be the creative. I just decided to be both and kind of hire myself. And so what I did is I created this project. And that was the beginning of it all. This is the beginning of everything I want to teach you today, guys. So what I did is I hired myself and I created this. It was a stationery paper, for me to represent myself as a artist, graphic designer, and all of that. Just want to make sure that everything's working. Yeah. And so I did this project, super passionate project of mine, and I placed it online. And I was expecting to get nothing. And then I remember uploading it to Behance and just posting it all across social media accounts, expecting, like I was saying, crickets. And what I got instead was comments. I think it was the first time that I got comments on anything. And then it was like, great job, amazing work. So I was like, there's something here, right? Like, this is new. I should actually pursue this kind of things. So I started to think about myself, all right, I'm going to give myself more projects. And at the time, I was trying different style. This is a style that I had at the time, a little bit more illustrative. And I was reading blog articles and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make it like the blog article is giving me the job to create illustration for them. So I was creating these illustration. And as I was doing this, I started to get a little bit more traction. I got my first featured on one of the curated page of Behance. And I was just so excited. It was just night and day, such a change for me. And I kid you not, after just a few weeks of doing this, I got my very first commission as a digital artist, which changed my life completely. It was a real commission coming at me with good budget on top of that. What they wanted is to have an illustration to present a concept to their client, and it had $1,000 for me. I was over the moon. And at that point, I knew I was doing something right. Something had to be repeated, so I just doubled down on it. I hadn't been hired for 2 years, but suddenly within 30 days of hiring myself and doing project for me, I got my first paying job. I knew that couldn't be just coincidence. So I started to just do that. Movie posters, advertisement, album covers. I would just invent basically jobs and create illustration for this. And those were the illustrations I was doing at the time. Right after this, I started to get featured again on more curated galleries on Behance and Wacom. And I got my second paid job. It was big budget again for me. I was amazing, thousands of dollars for doing portraiture for a company that was selling glasses. I was just living my dream. I was just, this is amazing. And so I realized I was into something. So from that forward, I completely transformed my portfolio. Rather than doing a bunch of random work and studies, I approached everything with a plan to turn my whole portfolio into what I call today client magnet pieces. And today, I want to show you how to do the same for your own portfolio. So I hope you are excited to do this. Everything I'm going to show you today is actually a small part of the Illustration for Imagination program, but I'm going to give it to you for free today. Kind of as a teaser, and hopefully I'll be able to help all of you to really just kind of kick-start your career. So I'm super excited to tell you all of this. I hope you're excited as well. All I'm asking in return is for you to take action, and by that I mean make sure to be able to take some notes. All right, this is important. Have a pen and paper. Be ready to take some notes. Maybe take some notes with your phone if you want. In a lot of cases, taking notes will help you to remember what you learn instead of passively listening and watching, guys. You probably know it by now. If you don't actively participate, you might forget most of the stuff that I'm going to teach you today, okay? So be there, be ready. Let's get started with those 5 steps that I want to teach you to create powerful portfolio client magnet that will attract the right clients. It goes in 5 steps. All right, ready? Let's move the chat. And let's get started. Step 1. Step 1 is super important. Assign yourself real projects. What do I mean by that? If you want to get commission, you need to stop thinking like an artist and start thinking like a client. That's super important. You need to put yourself in the shoes of the person that's going to hire you. When you're getting started, it's a big risk for a client to hire you. They usually have tight deadlines. They often have their own boss counting on them to get the project done. So if you can't deliver, they're in trouble. They're taking a risk with you. It's a chance that they're taking. They don't know you. This is why it's hard to get your first big job, guys. People need to have a little bit of trust in you. And so you need to know how to build that trust before you meet them. So if you can prove that you have experience, you're way more likely to get hired. But it's a catch-22, right? We all know that. I won't get the work if I don't have experience. If I don't experience, I won't get. If I don't get the work, if you want the work, you need experience, but you won't get experience if you don't get the work, and you're basically turning around on circle on yourself, not moving anywhere because nobody is really willing to take a shot with you, a chance with you. And so most artists wait around and keep hoping that one day their first big job is going to come in their email box from social media. But instead of doing that, guys, smart artists, you and me, hire themselves and set themselves real project. So how do you do that, right? Hire yourself. Instead of creating random studies in painting or just anything that goes through your mind, take some time to plan out your next pieces. Be strategic and think. That's super important. If you had to take a note, that's this one. What work could I create that would prove to client that I have the experience required for the job? All right. What work could I create that would prove to client that I have the experience required for the job? You really just have to put yourself in the shoes of the person that's going to hire you and ask yourself, what do I need to prove them? I want to give you an example here, okay? This is an artist that I've been following for years, and it was kind of like the light bulb for me that made me understood that concept that you need to prove to the client that are really able to do that job before they hire you. His name is Sam Spratt. Maybe some of you know him. He's an amazing artist. Personally, I really like his style, but beside his style, I think he's very brilliant in the way he built his portfolio, because this is exactly what he does. He does what I call client magnets, right? He creates those personal pieces that are basically showing to the client before he gets hired that he's able to do the job. And so when clients like Rolling Stone, Universal, Netflix, so on, sees his portfolio, he's already demonstrating that he can deliver the kind of work they need to be done. He's low risk for them to hire, and it paid off in a big way for him just by looking at the list of clients that he has. They're pretty much all awesome. And so that's what he does here. The one on the left here is a painting that he did. It was a personal project. And I think a few weeks, if not months later, he got this gig, which to me looks like there was the Rolling Stone magazine that saw the first illustration and saw, well, he's able to do the job. Let's hire this guy. We like his style, and we know he's able to do the job already. You may not want to work for Rolling Stone or Warner Brothers, or maybe you want to work for like a studio, or Disney, whatever you want to work for. But the principle is the same. Create real project to put in your portfolio, and you'll stick out from the crowd. Lower the risk for your clients, and they'll be way more likely to hire you. This is exactly what I did when I started my career. I would hire myself and kind of think about the places I wanted to work in. And it's exactly how I teach in Illustration for Imagination. These are two pieces from the class from two students. They were doing posters for movies. This is how we're doing the project in there. And I'll be talking about it in a minute in greater details, but I just wanted to show you this. This is really what I believe to my core system. This is how you should build your portfolio. Posters are the perfect place on top to start. If you're doing a poster, it can be suitable for any genre. They can mock up very easily to make your portfolio look better. They show client that you have experience, create strong concept and finished products, therefore removing the risk for the client. And this is another illustration from Imagination students that did this one, Olivier Delajarte. I'll be talking about this a little bit later, so stick around. So let me know, what kind of project do you want to create? I have the chat in front of me, guys. Let me know in the chat, what is the kind of project you would like to do? Are you a portrait artist, or are you a concept artist? Do you want to do character design? Do you want to do a comic book? Do you want to do your own series? Do you want to work for anime? What's the kind of project you would like to do? Share it in the chat. I'm actually curious. I want to read a few because there's a lot of things that can be done. Really, a lot of things. Maria says character design. Finnison says animation. I see a few guys. Character design again from Joseph. Happy Little Reset says, I want to do character design, but also animation. Webcomics. Awesome. Lots of great ideas there. All right, cool. Well, whatever you want to do, guys, this is step one, is kind of think about how to create real projects so you can get there. And obviously, this is just step one, so let's keep continuing. Step two is assign yourself real briefs. So now that you have real projects, you should set yourself real briefs to create those projects. But first, let me ask you, who here has suffered from the blank canvas syndrome? And if you don't know what that is, let me explain that to you. The blank canvas syndrome is when you start a painting not really knowing what to do and basically have the infinity of possibility in front of you, which is overwhelming, and it makes you basically do nothing and not knowing what to paint because there's just too many possibilities. Who ever had that? The blank syndrome canvas, the blank canvas syndrome, all right? I'm actually curious because I know I had it. I still have it to this day when I don't give myself. So I see me, definitely me. So I'm not alone. Thanks for letting me know I'm not alone. So if you're struggling to come up with good ideas and you feel that you're overwhelmed when you start a painting, there's probably one reason for this, and it's because you're not setting yourself enough constraint. All right? Constraint is basically something that you need to have to give you structure within your projects. When you have no constraint, you get overwhelmed with possibilities. They're basically infinity, right? So you struggle to come up with good ideas and end up painting the same thing that you're already comfortable with, and you don't level up this way. So how do you sell yourself some constraint? How do you create them? Well, you want to sell some real briefs, okay? In a brief is something that a client will give you, basically. A real client commission are full of constraint. The concept, what is actual demand of the client? What they want? Style. Is it going to be a painting or an illustration for something that's gory medieval or for something that's cute for a children's book? Usage. Is it going to be for the web, the print? Is it going to be a small doodle or a huge billboard? Project specific. You have to leave space for the text that goes on a poster, or it's supposed to go on a cereal box. You're going to have a cutout for this. What is the size of anything? Time constraint. Clients are on tight deadlines usually. You don't have an eternity to do it. A few weeks sometimes, it's pretty much all you get. These constraints will force you to think more creatively, and as a result, your concept and final artwork will be much better. Things like to include in a brief. If you don't know that, well, project overview, so just having just the basic project itself, deadline of the project, backstory, script, or synopsis if you're like making a poster for a story or for a video, a game, or something like that. Deliverables such as sketch, thumbnails, color palette, suggestion, final artwork, all of these can be considered constraint. Technical specification like canvas size, layout, restriction, color palette, like I was saying, and different usage. Like prints, web, editorial illustration, book, and so on and so forth. This is once again exactly what I do in Illustration for Imagination because I want to make sure that my students create their best pieces ever when they finish the program. And so we have briefs for them. We have actually 9 briefs this year. We started with 3 a few years ago. Now we have 9. This is one of them, is the Alice in Wonderland. I'm going to show you what it is. What you have, it's over 2 pages. You have the overview, which is explained like what is your project, what is your client. In this case, is to create a portrait, a poster for a company that wants to promote a movie. You have the themes that are in the movie, the characters are in the movie, the props, the deadline. Obviously, it's a program of 8 weeks, so it's 8 weeks. The plot summary to give you started with the ideas and the specs of the poster. I'll take a sip of water here. And the deliverables. This is what a brief looks like. And we have a bunch in Illustration for Imagination, from Alice in Wonderland to The Wonder, Wizard of Oz, and Dracula. Sorry. And we've been adding a few more. I'll be talking about Illustration for Imagination a lot more, but I just wanted to show you this. Having a brief is important. Step 3, create original concepts. What do I mean by this? Who here loves doing photo studies? Say yes in the chat. Photo studies are great. What's great about them, the photo studies are basically concepts that are already created by the photographer. The concept is already there. All you have to do is to recreate it. And obviously, they are great for a lot of things. Relaxing is one of them, being able to paint something that's already created, that's already beautiful. Who loves to paint photo studies? I'm curious, because I know I love it. My Instagram is full of them. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. I see a bunch of yes, yes, yes. So yeah, that makes sense. They are great because we can relax, like I was saying, enjoy painting without having to think too much. Photo studies are a great way to learn, but they won't get you too much work, unfortunately. You have to create unique pieces of work. If a client wants you to reproduce a photo, they would just copy it, basically. Clients hire you to create unique concepts. How to create a unique image, you're asking? Well, let's go into details. When you're creating your project, don't just jump straight into painting, okay? That's the mistake that we all do. We get excited, we jump straight into painting, and that's a mistake. What you need to do is spend lots of time thumbnailing and coming up with unique concepts just like you would When you're doing a real client, job, demonstrate to the client that you're not a risk to hire because you have the ability to come up with strong concept. And you show that by showing a little bit of your process. But it's exactly how I do also in illustration of imagination. When again, you start with like a very rough sketch, like this one that you see on screen. Then you want to basically push that sketch to understand a little bit more, like the lighting composition maybe. And then you want to just make sure that you understand the composition. There is so many grids of composition. Each of them apply to different concepts that you can use to create amazing pieces. And these things are important. Understanding how guidelines are working and framing are working to add to the storytelling. Those things are super important, and it all appears at the beginning of the project, not at the end. So it's super important to kind of think about those things. Doing this will also help show your process, which is a big help in getting professional work. Showing to the client in front end on your portfolio that you went not just to finish the illustration, but you thought about the concept at the beginning with thumbnails, and then try to have a few different colored palettes and think about all of those things. If you show your process, they'll be able to understand what was in your head. They understand how to work with you, basically. It's like a vision of how you work. And that's why it's super important to have those kind of things. And I'll be talking about it a little bit more again. So don't get impatient, basically is what I'm saying. Take the time to come up with strong concept. Don't jump into making the illustration right away. Do some sketches, do some color thumbnails. All of these things will really help you to create better concept and show your process at the same time. Step number 4, create your masterpiece. That sounds easy, right? So painting from imagination, what kind of sorcery is this? How do you do this? What is the way to do this? Well, I want to show you my best tips and my step-by-step on how to do so. I have great ideas, but whenever I try to actually paint them, here's what my brain goes to. What I'm trying to draw and what my brain does. Let me know in the chat if that happened to you. Because it happened, I think, to a lot of us, right? We have a beautiful vision in our head. It's perfect. We have the perfect perspective, the perfect color, perfect lighting. And then we put it down onto canvas and it's just not happening. And we don't understand why. We're not able to connect those two things together. Well, the problem is that I had as a beginner is I could copy reference photo. It was okay, but I really struggled to paint things from imagination. I didn't know how to go from reference to from imagination. And it felt limited by the reference picture that I had or photos. I couldn't find a good photo. If I couldn't find a good photo, I couldn't paint it basically. I wasn't able to just come up with it. And it took me ages to find the perfect reference photo online. I would do a ton of research for hours. And whenever I would try to get creative with it and change the pause, the composition or lighting, it would look terrible. I just didn't know how to do it. That sounds familiar to you? Well, I'm going to give you the best approach that I have to actually get out of this. I'm going to first telling you what is the problem, what is the issue, what are we doing that actually brings us to frustration and stops us from basically having the momentum that we need. So we all get inspired from social medias, right? No matter if it's ArtStation like this or Instagram or wherever, and we find stuff and from time to time we're like, oh my God, I want to do that. Like we're seeing a painting, we're like, oof, this looks amazing. I want to try to do this. What do? We're looking at it, we get inspired, and we jump straight up into painting. No sketch, no thumbnails, no research. We're just like excited. We jump on it. And obviously what happens is after an hour of work, 2 hours of work, we're realizing that our skills are not exactly where they're supposed to be. And so what do? Well, we keep pushing a little bit more. But it's still not happening, and we're not able to fix it. And that's where the disappointment and frustration comes in, and we just give up. Right? And that's a vicious cycle that happens to a lot of people. And it's a loss of motivation right there. We're just going back and back. Inspiration, and then we try, and then we fail, and then we don't touch our tablet for months. And because of that, we don't evolve as an artist. And the issue is here. I think I talked about this a little bit this week when I was talking about artists are not born with talent. Nobody is born with talent, and there's so many skills to be learning. So when you're doing a painting, what are you doing? Well, you're trying to apply all those skills all at the same time. You're like, all right, I'm going to fix the color here. And once you fix the color, what happened? Well, the readability starts to kind of be wonky. So you start fixing that right away. And then the hair is not there. So you're going to fix that as well. And then value rendering, and you fix that in texture. And then there is so many things to be learned and needs to be fixed. And all you're doing when you're doing this is you're trying to learn them all at once on one project. And obviously, this is why you kind of give up and feel frustrated. Back on YouTube after this, you watch a speed painting from your favorite artist that makes it look so easy and everything looks by magic, and you're thinking to yourself, I just don't have talent, right? You get demotivated. And that's the issue that a lot of us has, especially as a beginner. And it can be really, really painful and make yourself doubt and make yourself think that you'll never be able to be a real artist or make a living out of it. And it's a shame. But I'm here to tell you today that it doesn't have to be like this, all right? Here's the problem. Digital painting has a ton of things. Imagine it this way. Imagine it's a giant rock that you're pushing, okay? You have everything in that rock. You have perspective, anatomy, color lighting, all of it, okay? All the things that you need to learn. And when you're doing a painting like this, what you're doing is that you're going to push everything at once. And it's not efficient. What you need to do is to break it down into pieces, guys. Lighting, perspective, texture, coloring, anatomy, all of these can be one particular point that you bring to the finish line one by one. And this is going to be a lot easier. So all of these that we've been talking about, right? Hair value, edge control, all of these. Just break it down and use that. This is the fast way to learn, guys. I know it feels like it's going to be longer because you have a giant list and you're like, oh, I want to do the painting. I don't want to just learn one small thing. But it's by learning one of those pieces one at a time that you're going to learn them really good and then be able to build upon them. Break your goals into steps, okay? So the exact steps will vary depending on what you want to do, depending if you want to do character design and stuff. There's obviously like foundation skills, like I was saying, perspective, lighting, those things won't change. But depending on what you want to do, you're going to have some variation, basically. I want to give you an example here, all right? So let me show an example on if you want to make a movie poster, okay? I'm like, all right, I want to make a movie poster for my portfolio. I want to work in, the industry of movies, and I think movie posters would be a great way to start. I'm going to create a client magnet, what I call a client magnet. Okay, I decide to create a movie poster to help me with Alice in Wonderland. What the first thing you should do is deconstruct what you have as a reference. All right, looking at reference back, I'm going to look. There's this poster in particular has foliage, hair design, clothing, portrait anatomy, lighting effect, weird fairy tale background. You want to take all of those pieces one at a time, and then you want to try to break them down even further from there, okay? Just learning hair is not enough. You want to break that down into pieces. And so what do? You go online, you find a picture, and you do an hour of research, you find the perfect reference, and you copy it? Nah, that's not the way to do, guys. This is why it gets so frustrated for a lot of you, because you're thinking, I'm going to find the reference and I'm going to learn from it. And yes, there's some truth in that. But painting a giant haircut is the equivalent of going to the gym and trying to lift 300 pounds on your first go. You're supposed to start with 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds. Eventually, you'll get to 300 pounds, but you don't want to start there. And the haircut has so much stuff into it. So here's the example I have for you. This is how I teach how to draw hair. I break it down into 6 pieces. And the first one is the smallest, quickest win, but has all the elements in it. And it's to paint a lock of hair. That's where you want to start. Okay? So 5 steps for a lock of hair. Step 1, create a basic shape. That's easy enough. Step 2, use big brush to draw a big string. That's also easy enough. Then use a smaller brush to have smaller details. All right, cool enough. Add some contrast for the highlights and shadows. Easy. Add the specular highlights. Bang. 5 steps, and I was able to create hair that look semi-realistic. How easy is that, right? You want to do the same thing for all of those things. You want to break it down. So from the lock of hair, you go to creating haircuts. How do I design haircuts? Just practice that for a little while. Then how do I make this realistic? By painting the roots. How do I add macro details that will look more real than anything? How do I effects like backlit and subsurface scattering to it? And then when you all know these things, you'll be able to do that haircut without even thinking about it. This is the fast track to learn stuff from imagination, guys. You need to break things down so you understand deeply what they are, and then you'll be able to apply them from imagination. If you participated in the 1 week portrait challenge, I'm sure you saw how learning in step can make a huge difference in your learnings. By having one small step every day for 5 days, lots of you guys were able to create the best portrait ever, if not the first portrait ever, which is kind of amazing, guys. Congrats. So, isn't that cool? You just need to know about this. Do you see the power it could be just having to apply those things? Apply one step at a time, and you'll be able to build upon each of those steps. This is also exactly how I teach an illustration from imagination, right? I break down everything. We're doing a portrait from imagination, but we have a lot of exercise in the course where you learn lighting, for example, and you start with a basic shape, and then you base your project and you break it down into like geometric shapes, and then you paint lighting on a more organic shape kind of thing. Same thing if you want to learn to paint lighting on a face from imagination. You want to learn basically a few different steps. And once you know all of these steps, you'll be able to paint from imagination. And that's the power of learning with steps, guys. Step 5, make it go viral. I know that sounds easier than to say, but let me show you what I mean by this. As a designer, I'd sometimes help our creative director hire illustrators. So as you know, guys, I've been a graphic designer for years before being an illustrator. And so I've been in the process of hiring illustrators. And I learned some very important lessons about what this could look like. And it's kind of scary, guys. What I thought clients would do when they're looking at like a portfolio is carefully look through every pieces of my portfolio, taking the time to decide whether I'm a perfect fit for the job or not, browse through my social media and look at all my studies on Tumblrs and all of that, and really take the time to know me as an artist. You know, am I the right fit for the job? But that's not what they're doing, guys. That's what they're doing. They're opening one giant window with a ton of portfolios, and they spend little than little. Like they spend 2-3 seconds on your portfolio, and that's it. That's all you have to make sure that they understand that you're the right fit for the job. That's not a lot of time, guys. So you need to make sure that your portfolio is a wow effect from the get-go. So let me show you how you do this. Do everything you can to make your work stand out, because you only have a few seconds to prove to the clients that you're the right fit for hiring. So tip number 1, mock up your work. It can be hard for a client to imagine what an illustration will look like in its final format, right? We are illustrators, we are artists, but clients are not always that creative, you know? They're hiring you for this. So you kind of have to show that for them. So make the client job easier and show them by mocking up your finished illustration into products. For example, you made an illustration for a book or a articles in a magazine. Mock it up on your website to show them that this could be in their magazine exactly the way it is. If it's a book for a cover, mock it up as a book. In this case, I'm also the author of this book. How cool is that? If you're making a movie poster, put it as a movie poster mock-up. All of these projects that I show you guys were actually personal projects. They were not final projects, but I wanted to mock up all of them. So that's tip number 1, mock up your work. Tip number 2, to make your portfolio stand out, is show your process. If you're creating real projects and working with real briefs, you have lots of process work to show off, such as the color thumbnails, all sorts of sketches, maybe some few reference pictures, all of that stuff. Thumbnails, ideation, color palettes, put it all in your portfolio to complete your final piece with them. This will also make your portfolio page much more shareable and likely to go viral. Features on Behance and ArtStation, for example. It's always those pages where you have more than one image to show that go viral. Things that you can actually show on your sketches and thumbnails, like we were saying, your color palettes, some rendering steps is always great, close-ups and details. Animated GIFs are pretty easy to do these days, can be absolutely great also. All of those things, I'm actually giving you even more information in one special part of Illustration for Imagination that I give with the program. It's called Going Pro Masterclass, where I go into even more details. And just a heads up, I'll be talking about this in a second. So these are the 5-step, guys. I hope you took a few notes, but if you didn't, I'm going to give you, to everybody that's attending, the PDF of this one. You just have to stick around. I'll place a link for you to download as soon as I finish the workshop. But here's are the 5 steps to create powerful, professional client magnet that will attract clients and get you paid. Number 1, assign yourself real projects. Number 2, assign yourself real briefs. 3, create original concepts. 4, create your masterpiece. And 5, make it go viral. So now that you know all of this, If you were to design a powerful client magnet by assigning yourself real projects with real briefs and using chunk and powerful exercises to paint your masterpiece from imagination and presenting it beautifully with mock-ups, process pictures, and instill confidence in your potential clients, do you think you could successfully maybe get your first commission with this? All you need to do now is to put this into practice, guys. Who is inspired now to create their first and their own client magnet? Let me know if you're inspired by saying I or yes. I want to know, was I able to show you the power of creating client magnets? Because this is what the presentation is all about, guys. This was how I did it, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to do the same. Maybe some of you are a little bit overwhelmed too, right? Maybe some of you took some notes. There was a lot of stuff, and obviously there was so much stuff for me to have to put into 1 hour. I tried to do my best here. Hopefully you were able to take some notes. I'll also give you the PDF that comes with this, so not to worry. And I'm not certain why everybody showed up. I'm sure everybody has their own reason why they showed up today. Maybe you want to start painting beautiful masterpiece from imagination, just like your favorite artists, or you want to start getting your first big commission and learn and earn an income from your art, or you want to have more creative, fulfilling job, or you want to be in control of your life and live on your own terms, traveling the world, building your dream studio, or whatever else you dream about. No matter what your dream or your reason is for being here with me today, I want to help you get there truly. You've probably wanted this for a while, and now I want to help you finally make the leap. It's your time to start making a living from your art, to create awesome illustration and be admired as a professional artist, to finally be your own boss and work on jobs you want to work on from anywhere you want to work on them, and break the myth of the starving artist once and for all, guys. And I had to learn all of this the hard way. It took me years of trial and error, bad habits with the wrong techniques, and a lot of frustration before I found efficient ways to start painting artwork. And obviously, I don't want that to happen to you guys. I want to help you kickstart your career faster than I did. So, because of that, what I did is I took a year, literally 12 months, okay, to build this amazing program called Illustration from Imagination, guys. I've been talking about it, and I did it for one particular reason, is because everything that I taught you today, I thought it before, and I was teaching it to my students and people that would follow me, and what they would do, they would be super excited, be, yes, 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 and then 2 weeks later, they would back to their old habits, guys, because breaking habits is actually hard. You need to put this in practice to be able to see the real results. That's for that reason that I created the Illustration from Imagination program, guys. To learn to paint from imagination and become a professional digital painter so you can earn an income from what you truly love. The doors will open technically tomorrow, but because you are here, I'm going to do something very special. And this happens only once a year, guys. This is it. Last time was in 2021. This one's going to be the only one in 2022. And it's the perfect time because I'm going to open the doors for those who are interested in the next 10 minutes. The door will officially open tomorrow. But because you're there today, I'm going to have something very special for you. And I want to say for everybody that's interested, stick with me. I'm going to show you. It's going to take about maybe 10 minutes. That's it. I'm going to show you what's in that package that I call the early bird because we are one day before we open the doors. And for everybody else that's here that was there for the presentation, thank you so much, guys. I'm going to put a link of the free workbook in the description as soon as I finish the workshop. So you can either stick with me a little bit longer. I'm going to finish the presentation and then you have the link, or you can come back later. I don't want to force you to stay here, but for everybody that wants to know what's in that package, I'm going to show you what's in there right now. So I hope you're ready. By the way, these are exclusive bonuses that you're going to get here. Yeah, let's jump right in. Illustration for Imagination, 8 weeks masterclass program. Once a year only, 100+ step-by-step lessons included in it, weekly feedback and group critiques. I personally spent a lot of time helping the students that are in it. Maybe there's a few alumni in the chat, I don't know. They'll be able to say to tell you that. Build and teach, just looking at something here. Teach you how to paint from imagination. which is what we all want, right? And create client magnet portfolio pieces, work on real project with real briefs so you can create so you can attract real clients. And it's built in a way, guys, it's super fun. It's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing. So we have 9 briefs that you choose from. So you choose your own projects, really the one that speaks to you. It's a professional brief. Then you're going to go through all the step-by-step lessons of the program with me helping you along the way. And you're going to finish with a beautiful poster, 100% from imagination, with all the supports that you need to get there. I spent a lot of time creating that learning path, and if people are all part of the DPA, you already know what I'm all about, having clear step-by-step. So that's exactly what I did for Illustration for Imagination. There is a few steps that will bring you from the sketch phase all the way towards painting a professional piece of work. You won't have to go over YouTube's and Pinterest and the web to find the answers. No more feeling overwhelmed trying to figure it out by yourself, guys. I'm going to be there along the way. I'm actually live every week with you on top of that. You won't have to push that giant boulder once again. I broke it down for you. All the pieces are there. All you have to do is to start at the beginning and finish with an amazing poster at the end. I spent nearly 12 months, like I was saying, creating this perfect step-by-step success path for you, breaking everything into step-by-step lessons, creating high-quality exercises, and then putting it all in the right order, which is super important. Here's a little just snapshot of it all. We start with composition. That's module 1. I'm going to teach you how to create convincing composition that tells great, vivid storytelling. Then we're going to go towards a little bit more technicality with anatomy to create realism within our final line work to start the poster. We are going to learn about lighting theory, which is super important to be able to apply lighting from imagination on our poster. Then obviously, rendering it is a huge part of it. After that, how do you translate lighting theory to rendering to create something realistic? I'm going to teach you how color theory applies to all of this to create the right emotion, but also to create realistic colors that are vivid and attract the eyes of everyone. And then we'll finish by adding the final touches, the details. I'm going to talk about photo bashing and all those techniques that really make your art just look amazing. No matter where you come from, maybe you work on Photoshop, maybe you work on Procreate, Corel Painter, no matter what's your software, I got you covered. I got all the different documents for you to follow. And that's super important these days because everybody has a different software these days. You're also going to get experience as a professional artist. You'll get real world experience, so you're ready and experienced when you get your first big commission. So you don't feel, like this is completely new to you. I'm going to show you things like how to do mood boards, thumbnail sketches, value lighting and studies, product mock-ups, and much, much more. I go in great details to help you. And don't just take my word for it. Obviously, that would be just too easy. But it's been years that we open the doors of Illustration for Imagination. So we have a lot of amazing students that came in. So I want to show you a few of their feedback here. We have Benjamin O'Donoghue. He was one of the first, I think, to join Illustration for Imagination. Told us, this has been the most valuable step I've taken towards my dream of being a professional illustrator. Finally, I feel my work is worth of building a portfolio. And I was blown away by the material that he created. It was just an amazing poster. Here we have Yana that says, I love this course. It pushed me to get stuff done that I would have given up 20 times over otherwise. I know Yana had a hard time basically just keeping the momentum, to see the progress. And so the program was there for that. Here we have the work of Sydney. Sydney says, I think I want to say that my poster is finished. This course has been a delight. I've been learning so much, and thank you about color. I was blown away by the poster. I'm very, very proud of the work that she did as well. Here we have the work of Olivier that I already presented. Olivier had just amazing sketches from the get-go, but you can see from very rough ideas was able to create an amazing poster at the end of it all. And the way he does that is I break everything down in the course, right? So you start with the basic understanding how to put lighting on simple shape, and then we go towards exercises that are a bit more complicated, and then we apply those things to our posters. And for each student that goes through it, that's what happens. We are creating props, we're practicing our techniques, and then we apply them to our final poster to create those masterpieces that will attract clients for real. Here we have the work of Alicia saying, thank you, David, so much for this course. Your tips were very helpful. After 1 week portrait challenge with you, I had very high expectation about Iffy, and I'm not disappointed. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And obviously, a lot of you guys participated to 1 week portrait, so I know you have high expectation. This course won't let you down, guys. Look at the beautiful poster that she created. Work of Madison. I remember Madison telling me that she had trouble with anatomy, and she was able to create that beautiful portrait from imagination. Work of Ursula Lopez. Again, amazing work from her. And the great thing is, after the course, she was able to keep on creating more illustration from imagination with the process, because when you join Iffy, I'll say that later, but you get lifetime access to it with all the entries that comes every year. So you get just better and better and better. Here we have the testimonial of Edward that says, the amount of haha and that's how it works moment is mind-boggling. I can't stress it enough. If you want to learn and become a better digital artist, you need to take this course. And I want to say thank you to all of you guys that let me a testimonial. But you might ask yourself at this point, this is all great, but who is this for really, right? Illustration for imagination. It's going to be for some people. It's not going to be for everybody. So I want to kind of put things clear here. If you dream of working as a freelance illustrator, concept artist, character designer, portrait artist, book or graphic novelist, artists who are passionate about putting in the work to develop a world-class style, artists who just need some guidance and a clear path towards getting there, this is going to be definitely the program for you. Who is it not for? Anyone's not willing to do the work, guys. Obviously, I can teach you the ways, and definitely I spend a lot of time helping every student, but I cannot do the work for you. There is no magic pill to learn this stuff. You'll have to apply and do the exercises, but they are powerful shortcuts I'm showing in this program that can save you years of frustration and wasted time, and that's exactly what I want to unlock for you guys in this program. So every year I have people that obviously everybody has their own life and own constraints in life. Some people have a full-time job, studies, families, and don't have much time. I want to put your mind at ease, guys. The program is built to fit around busy schedule. Everything that I build is always around this. Everything is broken down into small bites, size lessons, manageable. Usually if you spend anything between 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day. It's a lot. You'll be able to do amazing results in the program. Everything is recorded, unlike art school, and you get lifetime access to all the materials so you can follow along at your own pace as well. Reminder here of everything that we got. So illustration for imagination, it's 100 plus step-by-step video lessons, 20 exercises, 6 in-depth module, weekly group critiques where I go live and give feedback, lifetime access to all the material. And the regular price for this is $800. But each time that I open the doors, I want to make sure that everybody that really truly want to get in it is able to do it. So I'm not going to charge $800. You don't have to worry. I'm going to tell you the price I'm going to charge in a minute. But before that, I'm going to stack some value, guys, because today I have a bundle of bonuses for you guys. I prepare an early bird discount for everybody that's here. So just stick around, guys. I'm going to give you a lot more. Like I was saying, I prepared a bonus packaging. Give me just 2 minutes. I'm going to show you what's in it. The first thing was obviously illustration for imagination, the entire program with everything, the lessons, the lives, all of it. And then we have 4 other bonuses. The first one being super important. Everybody needs tool to paint, right? So I'm going to make sure to give you the brush mega pack. This is a bundle of brushes that keeps on growing. All my premium brushes, tools presets, all the ones that I've been using myself and create. Texture brushes of all kinds, brushes for hair sketching, tools for rendering and blending, and then ever growing with new addition every year. I keep adding brushes to this one all the time. So once you have it, it's kind of like a gift that keeps on giving. You're going to have new brushes a bit every year. So I'm going to add this to the value. And like I was saying, I'm going to tell the price in a second. I just want to stack the value here. So the second one was the brush mega pack. The third one is having lifetime to the private community. We have a private community, guys, during the Illustration for Imagination program. And I kid you not, it's the best one. There's people that did the Illustration for Imagination in the chat right now. They'll be able to testify. It is the best community ever, and you're going to get lifetime access to it. All the people in there are motivated to get better. You'll be able to ask questions and get answered at any time of the day, receive feedbacks on your work, paintovers, tips, and tricks all year long. Be part of a community of artists, entrepreneurs like yourself that are passionate about making their reality come true. So I'm going to add this. I'm also going to add what I call the $1 Million Portrait Bundle, which is a bundle that you Cannot get anywhere else. It's a huge bundle of classes to level up your portrait and character design, usually only available as part of the Digital Painting Academy subscription. And if you were to buy it like each separately, each of those modules basically would have a value of $1,240. And that's going to be a free bonus, guys. If you get it now, it's just completely free and you're going to have lifetime access to it. I'm going to show you what's in there because it's pretty exciting. So you have the Perfect Portrait Foundation. This is a giant course. I think there's 100 videos in this. Also placed in a step-by-step formula where you paint a portrait from imagination, but I go into great details to teach you all sorts of foundation in there. You're also going to get, I know a lot of people are excited about this one, the 1 week portrait challenge, value of $97. You get for free. Lots of you already went through it, so you know what that is. You're also going to get the anatomy bundle. In this one, I go through a lot of details into the muscles of the facial feature to help you. We're also going to go through the hair bundle. So everything that I showed you today, we have, I think also it's like something like 40 videos that comes into this one. Lots of material to help you guys in there. Glowing gold, how to paint jewelries. Muddy colors, how to create beautiful coloring that look natural. Ultimate clothing guides, how to build clothing from imagination. What is the science behind it? How to create folds that look realistic. The advanced coloring technique to push to a maximum what you can do with colors. I'm going to teach you all my tricks, how to paint realistic colors or not realistic colors. The making your first mark, for some of you guys that are more or less beginners, I'm going to make sure to give you that because that gives you all the tips and tricks to have the right tools to paint and follow the course. There's one thing I have to give, and it's this one, the Brush Maker Blueprint. This is a course that I teach you how to create your own brushes. If you want to be an entrepreneur and build your own brushes and sell them, this is a perfect place to start. And I think that's all. That's the last one. I think that's pretty much all of it. The $1 million portrait premium bundle. So basically $1,240 value of all the bundles. I'm also going to give you the Going Pro Masterclass, guys. And that's a big one for everybody that wants to be a professional artist. It's part of the bundle. It's pretty much kind of the only way that you can get it beside another bundle I think we have. But basically, the Going Pro will teach you the business side of things, which is super important. We're going to go through the program together. You're going to create your best portrait ever. You'll be able to repeat that. But after that, what do you do? How do you find jobs? How do you find clients? Well, you don't have to starve to be an artist and learn how to build a career doing what you love. Valuable insider tips and tricks on how to be a professional, really, and what works and what doesn't. Learn how things work so you don't get ripped off or cheated. I'm going to teach you how to sell your art and which price should be on your art. Everything you need to get started as a freelancer, artist, or illustrator. You're going to learn how to protect yourself with strong contract for your clients, how to price yourself and get clients to pay what you really are worth, and how to build a viral portfolio to get noticed on social media and online, and much more. It also comes with a 60-minute video advice on taxes, contract, paid invoices by Mike Lim, aka Darkin. I know these things are not sexy, but they're very important when you want to be a professional. Estimate taxes, deduction, business licenses, LCC, LC carbs, all that great stuff that needs to be learned at somehow. Well, you have an amazing video to teach you all of those things that comes with it. And much more. So I'm going to add that as well. So we have a value of $3,434. And before I tell you how much this is going to cost, because I'm sure you're screaming to the screen, okay, but how much? Let me ask you this, all right? I want you to take a second, all right, to imagine what could this do to your career? What is it worth to develop a world-class style to become a well-known and admired artist? You know, what is it worth to you? To paint at the same level as your favorite artist? What is it worth to cut out years of frustration and slow progress to start painting professionally in 2 months rather than 2 years? To make your dream career a reality this year? What is it worth to earn an income from something you're truly passionate about? Fire your boss if that's what you want, so you can live and work on your own terms wherever and whenever you want. To spend time getting paid to do something you're passionate about that you would happily do for free, but you're getting paid for it. Because I'm going to talk about price now. Art school these days is crazy expensive. I put $30,000 there, but sometimes it's even more than this. And obviously, we're not charging $30,000. Tutoring can be super good for your career, having someone work with you side by side, but even those things can be in the thousands of dollars. Today you have this amazing opportunity to join the Illustration for Imagination program as we open the doors and get the early bird. Oof, got thunder on there. And you get all of this for $3,434. But I'm not going to charge you that as well. I'm going to just price it for everybody that wants to join, so it's going to be easier, for one payment of $497 or 4 monthly payments of $147. You'll get everything: the Illustration for Imagination, the Pro Tools, the private community, the $1 Million Portrait bundle, all of this for just 4 payment of $147 on one of $497. $497, yes. And I want to remind everybody that if you were to just buy Illustration for Imagination, the value of it is $800. You would already save money, but I'm going to give you all of these things today because I truly want everybody that joins the program to get better. So I'm going to give you all the tools needed to actually get there. So you might ask yourself, is it worth it? Well, here's 2 testimonials. One from Sarah that says, the cost of this course was a concern as I wonder if the content would be worth it. And now that I've completed the course and know what I know, I'd pay it in a heartbeat. The content was beyond my imagination. And Benjamin here, initially, I was a little concerned with the cost, but even after the first class, I could see it was money well spent. I've always been a competent drawer, but never good enough to go pro. This course changed all of that. And to make sure that everybody feels very, very comfortable, like I said, I'm always here to teach, guys. And I want to make sure that this is the right fit for you. So I'm giving a 365 days money back guarantees. What does that mean? It means that if you prove to me that it didn't give you the results that you wanted, okay, you just have done the work and it hasn't got you the results that we're supposed to give you, then I don't want your money. That's as simple as that, guys. So you can really have peace of mind, go through all the classes, do all the exercises, and if that was not for you, I'll give you your money back. So you have 2 choices here. Do nothing and have yesterday's results, or take a leap of faith towards making your dream a reality and jump on this occasion. We're opening the doors only once a year, guys. And I want you to remember that with this course, you could easily get your first commission. And my first commission was $1,000, which would have been paid for this course easily. So just as a little bit of inspiration for you guys, I'm truly hoping that that's what's going to happen to you. So is it worth to gambling 5 minutes of your time? Because really, this is the only thing that you're gonna lose. A little bit of your time to go check it all out. You can click the link in the description. If you don't see the link, you can refresh the page real quick. The link should appear then. Or you can go to the paintable.cc/earlybird. This is a link just for you guys that are online. From there, you'll be able to see this page. You'll have 3 ways to pay. Maybe the VIP is already gone as we have a queue. We have a waiting list for this one, but otherwise you'll have the flex and the best. Basically all the same here. It's just the VIP. You have a little bit more extra time from me, but really everybody gets me 100% during this course. Then you'll get to this page. You just have to put your information and that's it. It all takes action. It all starts with action. So I'm hoping that I was able to inspire everybody that wants to jump on it, guys. Here's all you're going to get when you join in: Illustration for Imagination, the Pro Tool, the private community, the $1 Million Portrait, the Going Pro Masterclass, and the Portrait Strategy Call. No, this one is gone. So I'm going to go through a Q&A. Let me go just take a sip of water here. Thank you for everybody that's online with me, guys. I'm going to answer all your questions now. I'm just going to go through that FAQ real quick. And from there, I'll be able to answer all the questions that you have live about anything, really. So each time that I present this, I have a few people telling me, do I need a special tablet or software to follow along? The answer to this is no. You just need a tablet. You need a software, but it can be Procreate, it can be Photoshop, it can be anything. Another question that I receive often is, how is this different than other courses, tutorials, or YouTube? Well, they're very different. In this program, I'm going to teach you in a clear step-by-step on how to get there. You won't have to look for answer anywhere. Everything is going to be bite-sized and give it to you, and you're going to get some feedback on it all the way along. So this is the main difference. What's the difference between IFI and the Academy? IFI is towards the professional side, where we build a professional portfolio pieces, where the Academy is at your own pace. It's not a 8-week program like IFI where we work all together. The academy is at your own pace, and it's not towards building necessarily a portfolio piece, but more to up-level your skills. Where in IFI, we're actually going to give you a step-by-step on how to create, from imagination, your own piece of portfolio. I'm not sure if I can afford this. Is that really worth the money? Well, the thing with money is I cannot answer that for you. I can only give you an example of what is money made for. And to me, money is a resource that it's only to basically add value to your life, whatever it is. And you can spend value to your life by, going to the restaurant, buying clothing, having some fun. But sometimes you want to add actually valuable skills that will pay down the line. In this case, this is it. This program will help you to get closer to your dream of becoming a professional artist. And I truly, truly believe in it. And so I cannot answer this question for you. Obviously, this is for you to take this decision. But personally, I would jump on the occasion to actually make sure that I learn skills that will bring me closer to what I want to do and skills that will help you to make money later on down the line. I don't know if I have enough time for this. I want to assure you guys that you don't need much more than 30 to 45 minutes maybe per day, not even every day. If you're doing like 5 days a week, it's plenty. And you'll be able to have just small exercises to really help you. I broke it down into mini pieces to help you. What skill level is it for? It's for any skill level really, but you'll get the most of it if you're anything between a beginner to advanced. That's where the sweet spot is. Can I draw or paint yet? I can't draw or paint yet. Can I still join? Absolutely. I'm going to teach you every step along the way how to start with your basic sketches all the way towards finishing the piece. You don't have to worry about this. Will you be adding new content or is it everything there already? The cool thing is when you jump on Illustration for Imagination, you get lifetime access to it, which means that every year you can participate and you get all the new briefs, all the new videos that are added when they're added. And there's a lot of new things that are going to add to illustration in the future. If you buy today, you get it cheaper and you get all of those things for free. Will I get help feedback on my project? Absolutely. I'm there every week. I'm doing a Q&A every week, and I'm doing some paint-over sessions, group paint-over sessions, where I take some of the pieces of the artworks to teach other people how to paint on their common mistakes. Can I join at a later date? Unfortunately, this is it, guys. We open the doors, and after that, we close them, and I focus 100% of my time on it. So this is happening only once a year. It's really the time to do it. When does the class start? It's going to start on Monday next week. So I'm super excited to start. And how do I get the bonuses? The bonuses will appear as soon as you join. You don't have to worry about it. So I'm sure you guys have a ton of other questions. I'm going to show my face. Hey guys, thank you so much for being with me that whole time. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I'm going to put the chat in front of me and answer every single question that you guys may have. Thank you so much for being there with me. It's always a pleasure for me to present this one. I'm super excited. All right. Also, I believe that there's a little list. So I'm seeing a lot of questions. Give me a second. I'm going to set myself up and I'll be with you. I'm going to answer every single question for as long as there are questions. So just give me a second. All right. So we both have live questions, and I have a few questions already in a list that was there. So I'm going to go through the list real quick, and then I'm going to take every single question that are live. So let me just check this. So I have Luca that says, do portrait really sell? I feel like so many artists already do this, and I don't believe I have that many chances. It's not about what you do. It's about really how you sell it. And that's why I give the Going Pro Masterclass, because learning the skills is important. Learning how to sell yourself is equally important. So it's not about doing portrait or doing illustration for imagination. It's really about how do you convey yourself to sell a quality product, really. And the Going Pro Masterclass teaches you that. We have Uraj Sahir that says, how to find your own style. Can you please describe that too? Having your own style, guys, it's a collection of different accumulation of different things that you like. That's what it is, right? It's not a special recipe. It's really proper to everybody. You just kind of test a few things and then you keep what you like and you let go of the rest. Um, I'll see if there's more questions. Uh, I'm going to take a question and live here. We have Yutun that says, did you say lifetime access? Yes, you get lifetime access to Illustration for Imagination. As soon as you get in, you're going to have all the bonuses and you're going to keep lifetime access, which means that each time every year that we open, you can participate again. And I'm planning on making Illustration for Imagination always better and better. So you're going to get the better version every time for free. Let me just scroll down here. Yuten says also, do you have to start straight away? No, you don't have to. Obviously, we're closing the door and then you cannot join. So if you want to join and do it later, it's at your own pace if you want to. But if you do it with the entire class, that's really where you see the greatest progress, just because there's a lot of people helping you with the momentum. The community, guys, every year is just amazing. The people in there are helping each other, pushing each other. Is just, it's amazing to see. And every year, it's always the same. So Yetunda also great question from you, Yetunda. I really like your question. Is the course a live course or is it fitting a tutorial? It's both. So we have recorded tutorials that you can rewatch all the time. Those are professionally made, well cut. There's no fluff. Everything is placed. You know, that's my selling point, guys. I like to do things in step by step that are very concise, that are giving you real results. So there's no fluff. I don't have a video for like an hour giving theory and you have to figure it out. No. Every video is 5 to 10 minutes top. It's always with an exercise, something concrete to learn from. And yes, you can go through them at your own pace, or you can follow the group as we go each week towards a new module. So you have both. Mila Mara says, will the Academy teach the same value? Not really. The Academy has some material that are adjacent, but it's not the same. In the Illustration for Imagination, I don't only teach you the lighting and coloring and all of that. I actually do an illustration as you go. So there's an example of me going through the course with you to show you the step by step. And it's not just me doing the course. There's a lot of those where it's like someone doing, there's some artists that do that. They do an illustration, they film themselves and they talk over it. That's not what I did. What I did is I broke down exercises. You do the exercise, we do the exercise, and then you apply that to your poster, and I apply that to my poster. So you get the practice, and then you see the example on how to apply it. And then you get the practice, and then again the example. And I do that for every module, just to make sure that you can go through those. So a great question from when it says, who was the one that commissioned you? I'm actually not allowed to say. There was a confidentiality. Technically, I should not even show the sketch that I show you today, but I wanted to show you because it's a beautiful sketch. Theoretically, I'm not allowed to say. All right, looking through your question, I'm kind of jumping from the list and that. I want to answer a question from Illustration for Imagination for people that maybe have a little time on their hand. So if you have a question about this, let me know. Gatsby says, I'm more of a jump in and figure stuff out kind of guy. So I just bought, haha, looking forward to it. Thanks, David. Well, welcome on board. I'm super happy you decided to join. You'll see, you'll have plenty of time to look it all out. Like I was saying, it's a 365 days money back guarantees. And the reason I do this is really for this. So you can go through it, test it all out, guys. I want to see if it's for you. I'm there to teach, guys, and I really want to help you. So you have no stress on your behalf. I'm super glad you decided to join in. It's going to be amazing. Every year it's amazing. Scrolling. I'm going to take... Anja says, when there is too many things you like and won't know what path to take, should you focus on one path and maybe change it later? Or is it okay to do a bit of everything, 2D, 3D? Personally, I'm a fierce believer that if you don't give yourself 100%, you won't see the results that you want. With that being said, if you're not sure what you want to do, try it all. But don't try it out for a year. Do a little bit of it for like a month. Do a little bit of the other one for maybe a month if you want to do 2D or 3D or whatever it is what you want to do. And then take a decision. Because otherwise you won't see progress. That's why I'm doing an 8-week program, guys. Because it's always when you concentrate on something really passionately that you see the best results. I'm a fierce believer of that. Okay, I already answered that. With the Emperor study says, will this core be valuable for environmental artists? I'll be straight with you. There's not a lot of environment studies in there. No, we're actually doing more a character-based portrait. That being said, the material I'm teaching in this will apply to pretty much anything. Light theory is one of those foundation skills that once you know it on something can be applied to pretty much anything. And so you'll be able to apply it to a background or environment if you want to. But straight with you, there is no environmental focus on it. It's a little bit more character-based, actually. It's a portrait that will basically tell the story for a movie, and that comes from a real brief. And so the movie itself has characters, and so the characters have to be on the poster, and so that's how the course is built. Eduardo says, is there something that clients tend to leave out, NDAs or contract, that we should be aware of before? Well, it's not about what they're leaving out. It's more about you have to know how to protect yourself in terms of like rights and copyrights. I think it's more that. Usually you need a contract to really establish those things. What are they allowed to use and how are they allowed to use it? And to grow in great details. There is a whole 60-minute video that talks about all of those points. Mike Lim goes through all the points of a contract and teach you every point on how to change it for your own taste as well. So all of this is covered in the Going Pro Masterclass. Let me take a small sip. I'm losing my voice. Going down. Linda says, I got DPA membership with the Black Friday last November. It has the same bonuses like Mega Pack, Going Pro. Does the price still the same? Yes, these are bonuses. I'm sorry that for you it's kind of the same. Sometimes those bonuses are given with other bundle, but I can guarantee you that no matter what, the Illustration for Imagination program alone is worth his price. 100% sure. And once again, 365 days, just go test it out and test it for yourself. Going down, scrolling. Enja says, is IFI at the same time every year? And thank you for everything. Well, you're absolutely welcome. And no, it's not. It might change. Last year we did it during fall. This year we're doing during spring. I'm not sure when I'm going to do the next one. Senya says, how do I know that my skill level is high enough intermediate to advanced? The best way is to try it, to be honest. But if you know how to sketch, if you know your way around in your software, right? If I don't have to teach you the basics, you'll be fine. If you're not able to sketch, that's even sketching. I'm going to teach you my technique on how to do sketches. So even that, I'm going to give you step by step. What I won't teach you is your software. I'm not going to teach you what is a brush, what is an eraser. I'm not going to teach you what is a layer. I'm going to give you the step-by-step of what I do with the layers to make sure that you understand them, but you need to understand your environment. If you know that, you're good enough. When does the course end? It starts on Monday and it finishes 8 weeks later, which I believe it's around the 22nd of June. That's the last date. Renaissance Girl says, what kind of brief tracks are there to choose from IFI classes? So we have 9 of them. I'm going to try to remember them all. So we have Alice in Wonderland, we have Sherlock Holmes, and we have the Red Riding Hood, we have Dracula, we have Wizard of Oz, we have, I'm having a blank, Wizard of Oz, we have The Jungle Book, we have Beowulf. I'm missing 2 or 3 there, but we have really like beautiful stories for any kind. Did I say the Jungle Book? Basically, what I did is I took stories that are made that you can use that the copyrights have been lifted. So it's called public domain stories. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to for you that if you love your portrait and you did your best poster, not portrait, you made your best poster ever. If you want to sell it, you'll be able to do it, because those stories, as long as you don't copy, the stories, and all of this is explained in the course actually. If you're not copying something that's already out there, like the Alice that we already know, creating a poster of Alice, you can actually sell it. You could do some fan art and actually sell that if you want to. So that's the reason why we're doing these stories. There's also a blank story. If you have like something that you really truly want to do that is not there, we also have a blank stories, and there's a few students that take it every year. Sherry says, I'm already a part of DPA and Pay Monthly. Just wondering, will this affect anything from the DPA subscription, meaning the payment? No, it's an add-on, but I can guarantee you that if you're already in the DPA, then Illustration for Imagination is the perfect next step for you. So that's what I have to say. But the material builds upon. It's really to help you to build one portfolio piece that will really attract clients. So like I was saying, there's some material that are from parts of both of them, but the learning path for each of them is very, very different. David Arianto says, how do you determine the deadline for your own project? That's a very good question. I would start by understanding how much time do you need to do any particular project. Let's take a portrait because it's a good example. Let's say that usually takes you, 40 hours, okay, to do a portrait, which is a lot of time, but it could be, it's fine. Then you establish that, all right, so that could be like a 2 weeks project, right? And so you set yourself 2 weeks. And so you don't drag more than 2 weeks. That's basically that. You need to start somewhere by asking you like those little things. But the more experience you're going to get, the easier that's going to get as well. But there's no secret to it. It's all about practicing and kind of seeing the data out of it. Okay, question here by Renaissance Girls. If the IFE good for all art level? I'm just starting in the academy and I'm still a beginner. I'm worried. This is a great question. If you are a complete beginner, depending on where you are in the DPA, let's say that you haven't finished the foundation part, you might have some struggle in IFE. But if you are in the foundation section of the DPA, and let's say that you are at the rendering place, you could be just good enough to actually try it out. But if you finish the foundation, you're definitely good. You won't have any problem there. Just Jupsa says, does IFE also show how to build a network which could help with find potential clients? The IFE program comes with the Going Pro, and in the Going Pro, I'm giving you all my best tips to how to deal with clients and how to build a portfolio that will attract clients. I'll give you my tips also on social media. I don't go in like crazy details, but I'm giving you good enough information to start your social media and get momentum with it. So the short answer to this is yes. So you have the Going Pro Masterclass, which I consider the professional side of it, and then you have the Illustration for Imagination program, which is like the artistic side of it. And with the two of them, that's where the power is. So yes, to your question. Lots of question about is if IFE is for beginner digital artists. Like I was saying, guys, if you know your software, if you're able to sketch, if you have been able to do a few illustration, you're ready to go. You're ready to start. I'm gonna level you up like nothing else. You'll see. You're gonna have great progress into it. Now, you have to understand that every year I have some people that come in and they feel a little bit overwhelmed because the pace comes a little bit faster, and that's fine. You might have to, take your own pace for it. But the material in it will really help you no matter what your level. As soon as you know your general software and how to do a sketch, you're really good to go. All right. Emily, what you did in the list was great. If you can put them in bold, it's me. Otherwise, I'll get into the sorry guys, into the chat to check that people are live with me. Thank you so much for everybody that's live with me, guys. Question from Bree says, so if I buy, this is all the material always available or only available for 8 weeks? It's lifetime access, guys, for everything that I showed you. The bundles, the classes, everything, okay? This is what I'm doing only once a year. It's kind of the place where I see everybody jump all together, and it's just amazing. The ambiance in that course is amazing. You get all the material for lifetime, all the bonuses that I showed you. You get the community for lifetime. It's really, really awesome. So yeah. Let me scroll down here. Linda says, I got a DPA membership with the Black Friday. I already answered this. Renaissance Girl, how do you figure out the steps? How do you figure out the steps you need to take to make an illustration? Says Renaissance Girls. So, like I told you during the presentation, you'll be able to see the replay. I'll ship the PDF to you. But you have to break down things down. So you want to see at all the parts. And it's kind of a list of the things, the skills that you need to learn. So if you realize that you don't know much about composition, learn about that. Now, you can learn about composition and just tackle one, or you can tackle lots of different track. There's the rule of thirds. There's the golden ratio. There's different grids, basically. You can learn about all the different ways to basically build composition and go through all the different points, right? Is it balance? Is it, there's so many things. I'm having a blank here, but there's so many things in composition itself. And you want to break it down in pieces, one by one. And that's the way you do it. You basically create yourself a giant list of things to learn, and that's the best way to do it. Question from Alina says, should I do Digital Painting Academy before IFI? It's not necessary. It just depends where you are and the kind of work you want to do. Like I was saying, the Digital Painting Academy is at your own pace, and it's about leveling up, where the IFI, it can be at your own pace, but we're going to have 8 weeks together with feedback every week, paintovers as well. And basically, we're going to do one illustration together, one particular project, which is completely different than what we have in the DPA. Yutunda says, black skin and hair techniques included in IFI? Not to my knowledge, no. Not in particular. But to be honest with you, once you understand how to do any skin or hair, it's different in terms of the colors and the way they act with lighting. But the steps were kind of similar too. And these are the things that you can actually learn in the DPA. Having the two of them could be super, super useful. Okay, let me scroll down towards people who are still there live with me. Thank you so much for everybody who's live with me still, guys. It's amazing. Utah, you said, I struggle with the 1 week portrait challenge. I missed times due to time zones. Didn't finish before I was taking off. What time GMT are the live classes? So first of all, there's no live classes. We have live Q&As. And those, I mean, just think, I'm gonna be in Eastern time zones. They're gonna be in an Eastern time zone. So I don't know where you are, but they could be either early Eastern time or late at night Eastern time. I'm going to try to have both so everybody has a chance to come live. And these are Q&A where you ask any question. But to make sure that everybody sees the feedback and paintovers, I'm actually recording those. So I record those and then I upload them so you can watch them at any time. So there's no problem there. I see a lot of people saying awesome that they joined. Thank you so much, guys. I'm super happy you guys joined. Bree says, so if I buy, this is all the material always available. Yes, absolutely. You get all the material, not for just 8 weeks, but for a lifetime. And you can participate every year. So you get all years. It's always there for you, but we open the doors for new people. And so we have that new 8 weeks all together once a year, and you can participate every year. Renaissance Girl says, you said the assignment were character focus. Do the character have to be human or they have to be animals? I'm going to teach a little bit of anatomy in it, not much, but a little bit to help people if you want to do portraiture, because portrait is such an important part of a character, right? I don't go into full anatomy. That's not there. We're actually going just to the portrait anatomy to help people with their character, because what we're looking at is to make a poster with a great focus on the main character. And you go through all sorts of details beside that. When it comes to what kind of character you want to build, that is up to you. I'm going to be helping you no matter what, but just to tell you the kind of courses that are in there, beside understanding how to do great composition and how to place realism within your lighting, rendering, and coloring, and to render all of this together. All of that material is there. But when it comes to the concept, that it's absolutely up to you. I'm going to be there personally to help you and the entire community as well. But you can paint animals if you want. We had participants every year that do either because you have different script, right? So we have the Little Red Riding Hood, for example. Lots of people are putting the emphasis on the wolf, for example. So that's always super cool to see. So Tanya says, offer is available until the 27th, right? Yes, but be careful that the early bird will go away. So the early bird is for now, right now, and maybe for the next couple of days. That's it. After that, it goes up in price. So you want to get everything for the cheapest price. Don't waste your time. But yes, the cart will close in about a week. Going down, Bree says, is the lesson per week? So we're going to open to make sure that everybody follows at the same time in the same calendar. First of all, when you get in there, you're going to have a handbook for students that's going to give you all the material and all the understanding of what it is. Every week, we open one section. Everybody goes through it, okay? And at the end of the 8 weeks, 6 modules, everything's going to be open and you're going to have access to all of it all year long. But to make sure that everybody follows at the same pace, we're going to have 8 weeks together, 1 module per week, except for 2 modules where we take 2 weeks to them. The rendering and the coloring one takes more time. But everybody goes at the same time, basically, and we open the modules like this. Jasna says, to what legislation are taxes and contract aligned to US or Europe? Super good question, by the way. I think it's the first time someone asked it to me. The video is for US specifically, but there's a lot of stuff that will apply to pretty much anywhere. Obviously, specific tax and specific laws for contracts and stuff, you'll have to look into your own countries. That's the case for everybody. But there's a lot of stuff that's going to apply in the contract that you can apply to your own country no matter what. Sonia says, how do I know that my skill level is high enough? I think I already answered that. Yatunda says, are live material recorded also? Yes, everything is always recorded. So if you miss something, you'll be able to see the replay. The Q&As as well are recorded. But you can be live to answer the question as well. I always do that. Going through the chat. I don't know why. I'm seeing no more questions, guys. If you have more questions, let me know. I'm more happy than answer all of them. So what was the 3,000 VIP package? So this one might be already gone because there was already people that were on the list. But basically, the only difference that the VIP has is after the 8 weeks, I spent another, I think, 5 weeks with the VIP package to help people to kind of transition. And it's something I don't give a lot because I really give all my time to everybody else. And that's why I'm giving it after it. And it's, I think there's a maximum of 3. So that's why it might be already gone. Sorry if you guys want it. I'll see to have more maybe next time. But not to worry, the material is the same for both. So you don't lose anything. The VIP is just more of me, more time coming from me. Aiden says, is the Going Pro module offer as a standalone at Paintable? Yes, it is. It's $800 though. You get it for free when you join today for $497. So even if you were just wanted to have that, you would get it. And here's another thing. If you want the Going Pro has a 30-day money-back guarantee when you buy it from the store. You get a 365 guarantees on the illustration from imagination. So it's a no-brainer, right? All right. Isn't there? I love material. I think I already answered that. Let me go scroll down. What would be the best portfolio site? That really depends. There's portfolio site for everybody, guys. I'm personally on Behance because I have a subscription with Photoshop, and so it gives me a free website because of this, which is awesome. I love that. But if you are a freelancer that wants your own website, you can go towards like places like Wix. I believe it's called Wix.com, where you can open your own website and have your own kind of gallery. But I really like to use sites like Behance. They give you great designs. They're linked to your Behance side. It's really easy to upload. So if you're using Photoshop, I would definitely look up to it. Renaissance Girl says, how do I know what the steps even are when creating an illustration? I think I already answered this one. Let me know if I answer everything that you needed. Otherwise, you can go into more details into your question. Sierra says, does anything change in Discord for joining IFI? Is it linked some way? No, Discord stays the same. So the reason why I don't have the Illustration for Imagination community on Discord is because of the pace of thing, and because I don't want people to get split up, right? So we have already an amazing community private for Illustration for Imagination. You get into that, everything has the different modules in there, everybody posts at the same time, and it's just an easier way. Maybe eventually I'll move it to Discord, but right now Discord, there's people, they have difficulties with Discord, they're not able to join. There's all sorts of weird stuff that happens sometimes with Discord. So I didn't want to do this for this one. I want to make sure that everybody has access to it because it's really a huge part of the program, guys. That community is amazing. So that's why it's not there. Kailesh says, I was unable to complete IFI 3 years ago during the 5 weeks timeline. Could I restart to follow the deadline? Absolutely. If you bought IFI, you can participate every year. There's no problem there. Renaissance Girl also said, how do you stay motivated and focus on your painting without getting distracted? What are the methods? Well, having a community is one of those, guys. Having a community will really help you to get accountable, to stay on track. So be sure to be part of a community. If you're not part of a community, go join the Paintable tribe. It's one of the best ones. Kylie Gooden says, in the course, do you elaborate on portfolio requirement, work, flow for the different professional path? Well, the 2 ebook that you're going to get for free at the end of the workshop, I'm going to upload them to the description. I just need to finish this. And as soon as I'm going to read, I got 2 books in there, and I give a few examples of the kind of work that you can do and the kind of idea that you can do to port your portfolio. But in the course itself, I'm not going specific in any of those. I'm kind of go more like general. You need to find what kind of work is necessary for the kind of job you want to do. Posters goes for so many things, concept art, but also illustration. And so as a freelance artist, you have all the material that you need, kind of thing. All right, let me scroll down to get more questions. I need more water. Jupsa says, do you cover full body human anatomy? No, I do not. Not in there. What I might do, guys, is I did one of those segment on a DPA, and eventually I might add that as a bonus for you guys, but I don't want to give any promises. So right now we're focusing on the portrait anatomy a little bit more, but it goes a lot beyond that. I don't want to say that it's a portrait class because it is not. The things that I do is I make sure that within 6 classes you finish a portrait that has storytelling and character base, but covering all the anatomy correctly to make sure that you would be able to do a character from imagination would take just too much time. So within that time frame, I'm giving you all my best tricks and kind of like fast track to be able to finish that poster. And I'm giving you professional tips on how to do it to save time. You know, when you're a concept artist, you don't have the time necessarily to do like everything. You use like photo bashing, for example, to help you, and you use a few tricks. So I kind of build that class in that direction. So I couldn't go into more details in this. Eventually, I'll create a class only about anatomy, but this one is not. Scrolling. Sherry says, how long are the bonuses available for the early bird discount? I think the bundle will be the same until the end of the week, but the price will go up on Wednesday, I think. So you'll have all the bonuses, but if you buy after Wednesday, it goes up a notch. So you have until then to get the early bird, basically. Giovanni says, how old are you now? I'm turning 40 this year. I'm turning 40. It's been a journey. Would you say IFI makes sense for a very advanced artist as well? I cannot judge of your skills right now. One sure is certain, if you try it, if you feel like it's not yours, you got no worry. That 365 days is for beginners and advanced artists. But I cannot judge your portfolio right now, so I don't know how advanced you are. You might definitely learn something into it, even if you're advanced. It's for you to experience. I cannot decide that for you. This is one of the reasons why I put that guarantee. It's because I know from experience, I've been opening the doors of illustration management for many years now, and people find a lot of value in it. So I'm very confident about it. But at the same time, I want people like you, for example, that are not quite sure to have a chance to try it out without having to take any risks, right? So you can go try it out. And if it's not for you, just let me know. Money back. Scrolling. Ipo, last year, Ipo Fetter, great name, by the way. Last year, there was additional bundle added at the end of the purchase period. I missed out due to buying early bird. Is that added to Iffy? If you have particular question about what you already purchased, please email me at hello@paintable.cc. Give me your question there. We'll come back at you. It's going to depend on what your special situation. So hello@paintable.cc. Scrolling. Reminding everybody for the capital Q if you see. I'm just focusing for the capital Q. Sorry. Sherry says, "Okay, I'm joining. Awesome, but not sure what the coupon code is on the sign up page. Theoretically, there's no coupon code. When you click on it, it should be already at the right price. You should have like a few ways to buy. It's either into 4 payments on 1 payment." If you have any problem whatsoever with purchasing, please email me at hello@paintable.cc. We'll come back at you with a solution, no problem there. If you have a problem with your credit cards or stuff like that, just let me know. Tanya says, is there a preview of the course somewhere that I show to people? You know what? That's a good question, and I'll make sure to send an email with maybe a few teaser later down the week. It might come after the early bird though. So if you don't want to miss the early bird, maybe by now, like I said, you have 365 days, so you can really try it out. That's more than a preview. You're able to do the course. But otherwise, if you wait until the end of the week, then I'll send an email with something. I reached the last question. Ram Dragon says, how are people on the sign up page? It still looks locked to me. How are people on the sign up page? I'm not sure what you mean, Ram Dragon. Can you give me more details? Just give me more details. I want to make sure that you get access to the page. Sherry says, thank you. Well, you're absolutely welcome. I'm seeing a ton of people with me, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me. This is awesome. So yeah, if you have more questions, let me know, guys. I'm going to remind you everything here. So the entire bundle, the entire illustration from Imagination, you get lifetime access to all of it. Okay? We will start on Monday, and we're going to be together for 8 weeks. It's going to be amazing. We're going to focus on creating our best portfolio piece ever together. It's something we're doing every year. Every year we have the alumni that join us to have that amazing community that comes with it. You get all the bonuses today, guys. $3,000 worth of bonuses that you get for free for joining as an early bird for the lowest price, as lowest as we can put it. And because you get lifetime access to it, you'll get all the new version of it that comes in the future for free, and you can participate every year. So if you have any question now, let me know. Otherwise, I'll let you guys go with the rest of your Sunday, wherever you are in the world. I'm seeing a question pop up. Says, Senya, how big is the community at the moment? At the moment, we have 1,200 people that have been participating so far. I'm not saying everybody's going to participate necessarily this year again, but there's always a good chunk. Everybody says thank you. You guys are so welcome. Thank you so much for being with me. So yeah, I'm going to wait 2 minutes. If I don't see any question, I'm going to assume that you have any. And otherwise, if you have questions I couldn't answer, email me at hello@paintable.cc, guys. I'll answer all of those questions. I want to say a big thank you to that joined. Thank you so much. I can't wait to start with you guys. It's always a pleasure to start this course. It's really, really fun. Do you go over a font style? Says Yutunda. Font style. I'm not sure what you mean by font style. Do you mean like graphic design? I'm not sure what you mean. I see a bunch say thank you. Yatunda, if you want to put your question, I'll wait for your question. Your, your little details. Let me know what you mean by font, and I'll try to answer that before I let you guys go. Because for me, it's 1 p.m. I didn't have breakfast, didn't have lunch. Quite hungry right now. I'm gonna go for a bite. Lots of people are saying thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. And I hope for everybody that is thinking about joining that you'll think about all of it. I'm looking forward to see you in that course. I'm hoping that the presentation today was valuable to a lot of you guys. It's in the illustration for magician, everything I show you guys, but it's also how I really became the illustrator that I am today. So I truly believe in those 5 steps that I taught you today. Everybody says thank you. I just want to see if Yatunda, if you want to come back at me with your question before I go for a bite. So don't hesitate. Una says thank you. See you guys. Joanna says thank you for the workshop. I'm going to try to apply to the miniature painting. Awesome. Yeah, if you guys are trying the steps, by the way, and you're part of the Paintable tribe, let us know. Let us know in the Paintable tribe as well. If you're not part of IFI, maybe for another time, that's totally understandable. But I'm looking forward to see if you apply those steps, if it's going to help you. I would love to follow you on that journey. All right, I'm seeing a question from Giovanni Lopez. I'm seeing no other questions. So I'm going to take this one, last one, and I'll let you go, guys. So glad you share your age. It motivates me. Motivate me. It isn't too late. Anything is possible. Giovanni, I'm telling you, I have a previous students from IFI. I think he's my age, maybe slightly older, maybe slightly younger. I don't exactly know age, but I know he's past his 30s for sure, and he's getting so much traction right now. His career is blooming. I'm telling you, it's not too late. It's never too late. All right. Eduardo says, best music to listen while painting studies. That's really a personal question. Personally, for me, I love hip hop. I listen to a lot of hip hop, but I love also jazz. So I listen usually to those two. I also like electronic. I like a lot of music, basically. It depends on my mood. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. If you have any question that I didn't answer, please email me at hello@paintable.cc. Thank you for everybody that joined in, for everybody that thinks about it. You have a few more days. We're starting on Monday, and I can't wait to start with all of you. So have a good one. Happy painting. Happy Sunday, guys. We'll talk soon.